Don't compare. Uh, we're taught in this world, we're taught in this society to compare ourselves against everything. Companies, supermarket will compare itself to its competitor, or, you know, you compare your dog against the neighbor's dog. Or, if you have a golden retriever, you compare it to other golden retrievers. Uh, Golden retrievers are known as very loyal and nice dogs. They're not known for attacking people or children by comparison. And, you know, if you compare yourself to your brother or your sister or your mother or your father or your cousins or your uncles or your aunts, or your grandparents, it's like it just for you and your brother, or it's like a giraffe comparing himself to a zebra. And the only reason I say that is because a giraffe is obviously just on the face of looking at a giraffe is extremely different than a zebra, and it has some similarities you can compare. They both live in Africa. They both live on the plains, uh, but they eat different food. They have a different perspective on everything because a giraffe sees at a different height than a zebra does. Zebra's life is about running and running fast, where a giraffe is not built like that. Uh, so they have a different outlook, a different way of escaping predators, looking at predators. Predators look at them differently. I'm sure a tiger, I'm sure a lion doesn't look at a giraffe the same as it looks at a zebra. You know, uh, but your brother or your sister is a giraffe or a zebra, and you're a giraffe or a zebra, and you're not one of the same. It's one you're a giraffe. If you're a giraffe, then your sister or brother is a zebra. And I know you came from the same family line, you came from the same DNA and all that, so you would think that if you're a zebra, then your brother's a zebra. And, and in a way, that's true. But in my comparison, in my metaphor that I'm giving you here, your brother or sister is a giraffe. And it's only to make the point that you're unique. You're I'm look, I'm unique, and so are you. Everybody's unique. Every everybody's a giraffe or a zebra, and when in comparison, when you compare any person, your boss, your coworkers, your classmates, the guy at 7-Eleven, if you consider yourself a zebra, then whoever they are giraffes, because it's just making the point that they are totally different than you. They have a different outlook. They have a different life than you. And to say I know how that person feels is just out of this world. There's no way you know how they feel, and you don't know what they're thinking. And we go and we walk around this world and we walk around our life, and we think we know what people are thinking. We know how people think. We know how people feel, and and no more than the zebra knows how the giraffe feels, or the giraffe knows how the zebra feels, because they don't. They don't have a clue. Uh, I would say a closer comparison where they would know would be a giraffe, zebra, and a wildebeest, because they're pretty much on the same level, but yet again, they have a different outlook. Uh, and they're totally different species. So, but the giraffe and the zebra gives you more of an idea. Uh, if you had a zebra and an elephant looks at the world a lot different than a zebra does, you know. And some of us in this world are elephants, we're giraffes, we're lions, we're leopards, we're wolves, and it's just we're sheep. A lot of us are sheep, and a lot of us have been bred that way over the centuries. They wanted sheep, they wanted more sheep, so they can control you like the shepherd does. And Jesus was a shepherd, and back in those days, a lot of people were shepherds because that was the main source of food and clothing and money and trade. And you were valued by how many sheep you had. When you got married, you either gained or lost sheep, depending. And it's just I'm just not trying to get away from where I started, which was comparison. Um, you know, you have to live your life. You have to live it with blinders on and not be concerned uh, with what everybody else is doing. I remember the old days. Uh, I would say to a cop or something, "Oh, everybody else did it," and the cop's wise ass remark would be, "Well, if everybody drove off a bridge, would you follow them?" you know. Uh, I'm like, no. So that was the end of my argument. And it's true, you know. And a lot of you would follow them right off the bridge, and I don't do that. Uh, if I go off a bridge, I'm going off by myself. Like when I jumped off the cliff in Montauk, nobody else jumped with me. I jumped by myself, you know. So and I broke my back in 3 or 4 places, and my foot in 3 or 4 places. So it wasn't a good thing at the moment. It turned out to be a good thing, but it wasn't a good thing. It hurt. I hurt. I was in a lot of pain, and but the universe doesn't. I mean, I can't say it doesn't care. The universe does care, but uh, it didn't hurt me enough where I died. I wasn't bleeding internally. Right now, I'm not on any pain meds. Never been on any pain meds. My back is fine. My foot is fine. Uh, I just had a test done, and it said that I have pinched nerves in my back, and for the most part, I don't even notice. I don't even care. And they offered me uh, physical therapy, and I said no. I don't want to go for that, and maybe down the road, but not now. And I'm pretty much fine. So the universe did protect me in the end, you know, and and the universe doesn't compare you to other people. It doesn't say that, you know, you should do what everybody else does because the universe made you and the universe made you unique, you know. Unless you're a twin, you don't look like anybody else. I know that people talk about doppelgangers, and even a doppelganger, you can tell it's not the same. It's not a twin. Might be close, might have a lot of similarities, but it's not a twin. And twins, well, that's an oddball thing. Uh, but even twins are different than each other. One can be nice, one can be mean. And it's still a giraffe and a zebra comparison when you have twins. But I know twins kind of muddy the water. There's been a lot of reports about twins and the similarities of each other and stuff like that. But they share an egg. They shared an egg, and so it's unique in that way. But if you're not a twin, then you have no business comparing yourself to anybody, and nobody in this world can compare to you. Nobody compares to me. Nobody has my life. Some people they live off Social Security. Some people live in government housing. Some people are labeled mentally ill, and that's what you and your world would use as a comparison. And a lot of those people are doing crack. They're miserable. They sleep all day. They don't uh, have any money. They they wish they played the lotto. They want to win the lottery because they want to get out of what they consider a hell life. Being poor is hell for them, and being poor is like a castle for me. I hate money. I don't even these last $1 billion lotteries. I didn't even buy a ticket. I don't care. I don't want to win. I don't need the money. There was a time when I didn't feel that way, but that's how I feel now. And it's just you have to be happy with what you have today, not what you want tomorrow. And because tomorrow might never come, and when you get it tomorrow, you won't be happy because in your mind, it's just like you want that beautiful girl, and you're in your mind you got her as she's funny, she's got a great personality, she's great in bed, she looks great naked, and then when you meet her and you actually get her, you find out she's not funny. She has a horrible personality. She's horrible in bed. It's just a fantasy doesn't equal the reality. And so whatever you thinking like winning $1 million is gonna do for you, well, when you win it, you find out you don't have enough. You have to pay this in taxes. So the fantasy doesn't materialize, and that's what you're doing when you're comparing yourself to someone else. You're putting all your own beliefs on this individual, uh, and it's like a golden retriever again. That they're known to be nice dogs. They're known to be loyal. They're known to like water. You know, and what would you do if you got a mean golden retriever who didn't like water? You're like, well, what's up with you? You know, but I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure they're out there. But I don't. Uh, you compare yourself to your boss who makes more money and you think has more freedom when he may or may not. Most of my bosses worked their asses off and they had to work more because they had me as an employee who didn't work at all. Yeah, and and they might have made more money, but they had more to lose. You know, if they lost, there's one thing when you have a job that's making 100,000 or 200,000 a year, and you might have that job, but nothing's saying you're going to have it for the rest of your life. Nothing's saying you're going to retire with that job. Nothing's saying, if you lose that job, it's going to be extremely hard to replace. You might find yourself working at Starbucks and writing people's names on a cup, so you can have a tremendous fall down when you get high. And $200,000 is not a high paying job. Uh, but I mean, they would want you to believe that. But if you make $200,000, you're not living the life of Riley or the life of Gatsby. It's just you're mediocre. You're actually lower class, middle class. And that's sad because a lot of people don't make 200,000 a year. But if you have a family, you have kids, 200,000 doesn't go that far. After taxes, after the mortgage, after the car payment, after the insurance payments, you might have to skip a meal here or there, and take a bag lunch. So, it's just, uh, y- I have the universe in my life, and like I said, with the cliff jumping and all these things I've done. Even dropping out of school at 14 and uh, going on to college when I was 20. I never planned on doing that, but I didn't compare myself to other people. Because the one mantra I've had my whole life has been, I'm not like everybody else. I am definitely not like everybody else. And I never wanted to be like everybody else, you know. Uh, I don't have any tattoos. I wouldn't dare get a tattoo. I think they're disgusting. And I wouldn't date anybody with a tattoo. Uh, and if you're a social worker, if you're a lawyer or a judge or anybody like that with a tattoo, I wouldn't take your advice for 2 seconds. I wouldn't want to listen to you because if you can do that to your body, then you really have nothing between those ears, you know. So, and you paid somebody to do it to you, and that's even more ridiculous. So, it's just not my thing. I guess I didn't grow up in the right decade for that. Uh, it wasn't my thing, and thank God. But I don't know. It's just I had a tongue ring once. I wasn't worried about piercings. I had 2 earrings, as I know you've seen. That's it. I wouldn't go for a nose ring or the thing on the eye or anything, or a belly ring or anything like that. I think that's ridiculous. But and I've been to nudist colonies in Jamaica, the island of Jamaica, and I've seen what guys do to their penis with piercings, and I don't know how they do that, and I don't know why, but that's what makes them happy. Go for it. I would never do it, but and I think you know what I'm talking about. But it's just these are trends. It was trendy when they got it done. It was something everybody was doing in that circle of friends and stuff, and that's why they got it done. And I think a lot of people get tattoos today because so many people they know have one, and they want to compare again. Back to comparison. They want to compare tattoos. They want to compare the story behind the tattoo, why they got the tattoo. I mean, because everybody has a story for the tattoo they have, why they picked it, and all that, or they made it or drew it themselves, and stuff like that. Uh, but I don't do that. I don't compare my. Like I said, I don't compare myself to anybody. I wear girls' clothes. I wear dresses. I get my nails done. I don't care. I'm one of the only guys in the nail salon getting my nails done. And when I see other guys in the nail salon getting their nails done, they get clear nail polish. I get pink. you know. So it's just I don't care. You can laugh at me all you want. It's been done all my life. And I mean, I'm not going to say when I was younger I didn't care. When I was younger, I was very self-conscious. I was very. I hate my hair had to be perfect. I would go off on hairdressers that didn't cut my hair right. They missed a spot, kind of thing. And they would just give me the brush and tell me do it yourself. You know, and I was just very particular. And I think a lot of teenagers go through those kind of phases and stuff. And it was just a phase. Now I shave my head basically. I get a crew cut. I don't care. I don't care. It's just easier. I get up in the morning. It looks the same as I went to bed. But I used to blow dry my hair. I used to cut it myself. I used to hairspray, mousse, uh, stiff stuff, all that crazy shit. And I have gel in my room, and I use it on occasion when my hair grows back a little longer, and I'll keep it nice. But I wear my stupid again hat, so I really don't care about my hair because you can't see it anyway. So it's just I don't know. Don't compare. Don't compete either. Uh, because that's what you're doing when you're comparing. You're competing, and can't compare where you don't compete.